Khureb BeRuack, Sword of the Spirit, narrated and interpreted by Wendy. First BARUK. Chapter 1. Now these are the words of the scroll which BARUK, son of Neriyehu, son of Maseyehu, son of Tzidkiyehu, son of Hazadyehu, son of Hilkiyehu, wrote in Babel, in the 5th year, on the 7th day of the month, during the time the Kashtim took Yerushalayim and destroyed it with fire. BARUK read the words of this scroll in the hearing of Yeconiah, son of Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, and all the people who came to the reading, the nobles, sons of the king, elders, and all the people, small and great, all who lived in Babel by the river Sud. They wept, fasted, and prayed before Yahweh, and collected such funds as each could afford. They sent this to Yerushalayim, to Jehoiakim the priest, son of Hilkiyehu, son of Shallum, and to the priests and all the people who were with him in Yerushalayim. During that time he received vessels of the house of Yahweh that had been removed from the temple, to restore them to the land of Yehuda, on the 10th of Sivan. These vessels were made by Tzidkiyehu, son of Jeshojehu, king of Yehuda, after Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, carried off Yeconiah and the priests as captives, the skilled workers, the nobles, and the people of the land from Yerushalayim, and brought them to Babel. The message was, "We send you funds, with which you are to procure ascension offerings, sin offerings, and frankincense, and to prepare memorial offerings. Offer these on the altar of Yahweh, our Elohim, and pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, and of Belshazzar, his son, that their lifetimes may be like the days of the heavens above the earth. Pray that Yahweh may give us strength and light for our eyes, so that we may live under the protective shadow of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, and of Belshazzar, his son, to serve them many days, and find favor in their sight. Pray for us to Yahweh, our Elohim, for we have sinned against Yahweh, our Elohim. Even to this day, the wrath of Yahweh and his anger has not turned away from us. On the feast day, and during the days of assembly, read this scroll that we sent to you out loud in the house of Yahweh. Justice belongs to Yahweh, our Elohim, for us, the people of Yehuda and inhabitants of Yerushalayim, to be ashamed, like on this day. To us, our kings, rulers, priests, and prophets, and our ancestors. We have sinned in the sight of Yahweh, and we have disobeyed him. We have not listened to the voice of Yahweh, our Elohim, so as to follow the precepts Yahweh set before us. From the day that Yahweh led our ancestors out of the land of Mitzrayim until the present day, we have been disobedient to Yahweh, our Elohim, and neglected to listen to his voice. Even today, evil clings to us, the curse of Yahweh pronounced to Moshe, his servant, during the time that he led our ancestors out of the land of Mitzrayim, to give us a land flowing with milk and honey. For we did not listen to the voice of Yahweh, our Elohim, with all the words of the prophets he sent us. But each of us have followed the inclinations of our wicked hearts, serving other deities, and doing evil in the sight of Yahweh, our Elohim. Chapter 2. So Yahweh carried out the warning he had uttered against us, against our judges, who governed Yisrael, against our kings and princes, and against the people of Yisrael and Yehuda. Nowhere under the heavens has anything been done like what he did in Yerushalayim, like what was written in the law of Moshe, that we would each eat the flesh of our sons, eat the flesh of our daughters. He has made us subject to all the kingdoms around us, an object of reproach and horror among all the people around us, where Yahuwah has gathered us. We are brought low, not raised high, because we sinned against Yahuwah, our Elohim, not listening to his voice. Justice belongs to Yahuwah, our Elohim, for us and for our ancestors, to be ashamed like this day. All the evils of which Yahuwah had warned us has come upon us. We did not entreat the favor of Yahuwah by each of us turning to the designs of our evil hearts. Yahuwah kept watch over the evils and brought them home to us, for Yahuwah is just in all the works that he commanded us to do. But we did not listen to his voice, or follow the precepts of Yahuwah, which he had set before us. And now Yahuwah Elohim of Yisrael, who led your people out of the land of Mitzrayim with a strong hand, with signs and wonders, and great might, and with an upraised arm, so that you have made a name for yourself to this present day. We have sinned, we have committed sacrilege, we have violated all your statutes, Yahuwah, our Elohim. Withdraw your anger from us, for we are left few in number among the nations where you have scattered us. Hear, Yahuwah, our prayer of supplication, and deliver us for your own sake. Grant us favor in the sight of those who brought us into exile, that the whole earth may know that you are Yahuwah, our Elohim, and that Yisrael and his descendants bear your name. Yahuwah, look down from your holy dwelling, and take thought of us. Yahuwah, incline your ear to hear us. Open your eyes and see. Are the dead not in Shaul, whose breath has been taken from within them? Who will declare the glory and vindication for Yahuwah? The person who is deeply grieved, who walks bowed and feeble, with failing eyes and famished soul, will declare your glory and justice, Yahuwah. We do not base our plea for mercy in your sight on the righteous deeds of our ancestors and our kings, O Yahuwah, our Elohim. You have sent your wrath and anger upon us, like you had warned us by your servants the prophets. Thus saith Yahuwah, bend your necks and serve the king of Babel, so that you may continue in the land I gave your ancestors. For if you do not listen to the voice of Yahuwah, as to serve the king of Babel, I will silence the cheers of joy and gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, from the cities of Yehuda and from the streets of Yerushalayim, and all the land will be deserted without inhabitant. But we did not listen to your voice, or serve the king of Babel, and you carried out the threats you had made through your servants the prophets, such that the bones of our kings and the bones of our ancestors would be brought out from their burial places. And indeed, they lie exposed to the heat of the day and the frost of night. They died in great suffering, by famine and sword and plague. And you reduced the house that bears your name to what it is today, because of the wickedness of the house of Yisrael and the house of Yehuda. But with us, Adonai, our Elohim, you have dealt with all your clemency and with all your great mercy. Thus you spoke through your servant Moshe, the day you ordered him to write down your law in the presence of Yisrael. If you do not listen to my voice, surely this great and numerous multitude will dwindle away among the nations to which I scatter them. For I know they will not listen to me, because they are a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their exile, they will have a change of heart. They will know that I, Yahuwah, am their Elohim, and I will give them a heart and ears to listen. And they will praise me in the land of their exile, and will remember my name. Then they will turn back from their stiff-necked stubbornness, and from their evil deeds, because they will remember the ways of their ancestors who sinned against Yahweh. And I will bring them back to the land I promised on the oath of their ancestors, to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, and they will rule it, and I will make them increase. They will not be few. And I will establish for them an eternal covenant. I will be their Elohim, and they will be my people. And I will never again remove my people Yisrael from the land I gave them. Chapter 3. O Yahweh Almighty. O Yahweh, Almighty Elohim of Yisrael, the anguished soul, the dismayed spirit cries out to you. Hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy, for you are a merciful Elohim. Have mercy upon us, who have sinned against you, for you are enthroned forever, while we are perishing forever. O Yahweh, Almighty Elohim of Yisrael, hear the prayer of the dead of Yisrael, children who sinned against you. They did not listen to the voice of Yahweh, their Elohim, and their evil clings to us. Do not remember the wicked deeds of our ancestors, but at this time remember your power and your name. For you are Yahweh our Elohim, and we will praise you, Yahweh. This is why Yahweh put into our hearts the fear of you, so that we may call upon your name and praise you during our exile, once we have removed all the wickedness of our ancestors who sinned against you from our hearts. Behold, today we are in exile, where you have scattered us, an object of reproach and cursing and punishment for all the wicked deeds of our ancestors, who withdrew from Yahweh our Elohim. O Yisrael, hear the commandments of life, listen and know prudence. O Yisrael, how is it that you are in the land of your enemies, growing old in a foreign land, defiled by the dead, counted among those destined for Sheol? You have forsaken the fountain of wisdom. Had you walked in the way of Elohim, you would have dwelt with enduring peace. Learn where prudence is, where strength is, where understanding is, so that you may also know where length of days and life is, where light of the eyes and peace is. Who has found the place of wisdom? Who has entered into her treasures? Where are the rulers of the nations who lord over it? The wild beasts of the earth made sport of the birds in the heavens, who heaped up the silver, the gold in which people trust, whose possessions were unlimited, who schemed anxiously for money. Their works were beyond discovery. They were vanished, gone down to Sheol, and others have risen up in their stead. Later generations have seen the light of day, dwelling on the earth, but they have not known the way of understanding. They have not perceived her paths or reached her. Their children remain far from the way to her. She has not been heard of in Canaan, nor in Timan. The descendants of Hagar, who speak knowledge on earth, the merchants of Medan and Tema, the storytellers of those seeking knowledge. These have not known the way to wisdom, nor have they kept her paths in mind. O Yisrael, how vast is the dwelling of Elohim, how broad the scope of his dominion, vast and endless, high and immeasurable. In it the giants were born, renowned at first, huge in stature, skilled in war. Elohim did not choose them, nor did he give them the way of understanding. They perished for lack of prudence, destroyed by their own folly. Who has gone up to the heavens and taken her, bringing her down from the clouds? Who has crossed the sea and found her, bearing her rather than choice gold? No one knows the way to her, nor has her path at heart. But the one who knows all things knows her. He has probed her by his knowledge, the one who established the earth for all time and filled it with four-footed animals, who sends out the lightning, and it goes. Calling it, it obeys him, trembling, before whom the stars at their posts shine and rejoice. When he calls them, they answer, "Here we are," shining with joy for their Maker. Such is our Elohim. No other can be compared to him. He has uncovered the whole way of understanding, and has given her to Jacob, his servant, to Yeshariel, his beloved. Thus she has appeared on earth, being at home with mortals. She is the book of the precepts of Elohim, the law that endures forever. All who cling to her will live, but those who forsake her will die. Turn, O Jacob, and receive her. Walk by her light toward splendor. Do not give your glory to another, your privileges to a foreign nation. Blessed are we, O Yeshariel, for what pleases Elohim is known to us. Take courage, my people. Remember, O Yeshariel, you were sold to the nations, not for destruction. It was because you angered Elohim that you were handed over to your foes. For you provoked your Maker with sacrifices to demons, and not to Elohim. You forgot the eternal Elohim who nourished you, and you grieved Yerushalayim who nurtured you. Truly, she saw the wrath of Elohim coming upon you, and she said, "Hear, you neighbors of Zion, Elohim has brought great mourning upon me, for I have seen the captivity that the Eternal One has brought upon my sons and daughters. With joy I nurtured them, but with mourning and lament I sent them away. Let no one gloat over me, a widow, bereaved by many. I am left desolate because of the sins of my children, because they turned from the law of Elohim and did not acknowledge his statutes, and did not walk in the ways of Elohim's commandments, nor did they tread the disciplined paths of his justice. Let Zion's neighbors come. Remember the captivity of my sons and daughters, brought upon them by the Eternal One. Against them he has brought a nation from afar, a ruthless nation, and a foreign speech, which does not respect old age nor pity a child. They have led away the beloved children of this widow, having left me solitary, without daughters. What can I do to help you? The one who has brought this evil upon you must deliver you from the hands of your enemies himself. Farewell, my children, farewell. I am left desolate. I have taken off the garment of peace, have put on sackcloth for my prayer of supplication. While I live, I will cry out to the Eternal One. Take courage, my children. Call upon Elohim. He will deliver you from your oppression, from enemy hands. I have put my hope for your deliverance in the Eternal One, and joy has come to me from the Holy One, because of the mercy that will swiftly reach you from your eternal Savior. With mourning and lament I sent you away, but Elohim will give you back to me with gladness and joy forever. Just as the neighbors of Zion recently saw you taken captive, likewise shortly they will see the salvation of Elohim to you, with the great glory and splendor of the Eternal One. My children, bear patiently the wrath that has come upon you from Elohim. Your enemies have persecuted you, but you will see their destruction and trample upon their necks soon. My pampered children have trodden rough roads, carried off by their enemies like sheep in a raid. Take courage, my children. Call out to Elohim. The one who brought this upon you will remember you. Just as your hearts have been disposed to stay away from Elohim, so too Now turn 10 times more to seek him. For the one who has brought disaster upon you will bring you eternal joy by saving you. Chapter 5. Take courage, Yerushalayim. The one who gave you your name will console you. Those who harmed you, who rejoiced at your downfall, will be wretched. Wretched will be the cities where your children were enslaved. Wretched will be the city that received your children, just as that city rejoiced at your collapse and made merry at your downfall. So too she will grieve over her own desolation. I will take the rejoicing crowds from her, and her exultation will be turned into mourning. For fire will come upon her from the Eternal One for many days, to be inhabited by demons for a long time. Look to the east, Yerushalayim. See the joy that comes to you from Elohim. Here comes your children whom you sent away, gathered in from east to west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Elohim. O Yerushalayim, take off your robe of mourning and misery. Put on the splendor of glory from Elohim forever. Wrapped in the mantle of justice from Elohim, place the diadem of glory of the Eternal One upon your head. For Elohim will show your splendor to everyone under the heavens. You will be named by Elohim forever. The peace of justice, the glory of the worship of Elohim, the glorious worship of Elohim. Rise up, O Yerushalayim, stand upon the heights. Look to the east and see your children gathered from east to west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing that they are remembered by Elohim. Led away by their enemies, they left on foot, but Elohim will bring them back to you, carried high in glory like upon royal thrones. For Elohim has commanded that every lofty mountain and old hills be made low, so that the valleys are filled to make the ground level, so that Yishariel may advance securely in the glory of Elohim. The forests and every kind of fragrant tree have overshadowed Yishariel by the command of Elohim. For Elohim is leading Yishariel in joy by the light of his glory, with his mercy and justice. Chapter 6. This is a copy of the letter of the same BARUK, whose letter Yirmiyahu sent to the Yehudim, who were led away prisoners into Babel by the king of Babel, that he would tell them what was commanded from Elohim to him. Because of the sins that you sinned before Elohim, you will be led captives into Babel by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel. Therefore, you will go into Babel, and you will be there for many years, and for a long time, until 7 generations. After this, truly, I will lead you from there with peace. But now you will see deities of gold, and silver, and stone, and tree in Babel, which are carried on shoulders, showing fear to foreign men. Therefore see, or else you too will do like the foreign deeds, or unless you revere, and that reverence takes you with them. Therefore, when you see a company behind and before, worship Elohim. Say in your hearts, Adonai Elohim. It behooves you for to be worshipped. Truly my angel is with you, but I will seek your soul. For why are their trees polished by a carpenter? Also they are arrayed with gold and silver. Also they are false and do not speak. Like a virgin loving an ornament. So when gold is taken, ornaments are made to idols. Certainly their deities have golden crowns on their heads. Therefore priests will withdraw from those gold and silver deities, and spend it on themselves. Also they craft what is for whores, and decorate whores, And again, when they receive that of whores, they array their deities. But those of these deities are not delivered from rust and moths. Truly, when they are covered with a purple cloth, priests wipe their faces. For the house of those deities is full of dust. Truly, idols have a scepter, like a man does. It does not slay a man sinning against himself, like a judge of a country. Also, they have a sword and an axe in their hand, but they do not deliver themselves from battle and from thieves. Therefore, let it be known to you that they are not deities. So, do not worship them. For just like a broken vessel of a man is made unprofitable, so too are their deities. When they are set in the house, their eyes are full of dust from the feet of men entering. Like the gates that are set around a man who offends the king, or like when a dead man is brought to a tomb, so too priests securely keep the doors with closings and locks, or else they will be robbed by thieves. They tend many lanterns for them, truly many lanterns, by which they see nothing. Truly they are like beams in a house. Truly men say that serpents, which are of the earth, lick out their hearts while the serpents eat them, and their clothes they do not feel it. Their faces are black by the smoke, which is made in the house. Bats and swallows fly above their body and head, also birds and cats in like manner. Therefore know that they are not deities, so do not revere them. Also, the gold that they have is not fine, but some man wipes away the rust. They will not shine, for they do not feel while they are molten together. They are bought of all prices, in which no spirit is in them. They are without feet, being carried on the shoulders of men, and openly show their lack of nobility to men. Also, those who worship them are ashamed. Therefore, if they fall down to earth, they will not rise by themselves. And if any man sets an idol upright, it will not stand by itself. But similar to dead things, supports are put for them. Their priests sell and misuse their sacrifices. In a similar manner, their women. In like manner, their women are ravished away. They give nothing to a sick man, nor to a beggar. Of their sacrifices, foul women, and in their unclean blood, touch. Therefore, you know by these things that they are not deities, and do not revere them. For why are they called deities? For women set sacrifices to deities of silver and gold and tree. Also, priests tear their coats and shave their heads and beards, whose heads are naked, sitting in their houses. Truly, they roar and cry to their deities, like the supper of a dead man. Priests take away their clothes, and clothe their wives and children. And if they suffer anything evil of any man, or if they suffer anything good, they do not yield back, nor do they ordain or remove a king. In like manner, nor do they give riches, nor yield evil things. If any man takes a vow to them, and does not yield, they do not ask why. They do not deliver a man from death, nor deliver a sick man from the mighty. They do not restore a blind man to sight. They do not deliver a man from need. They do not have mercy on a widow, nor do they do good for fatherless children. Their deities of tree and stone and gold and silver are like stones of the mountain. Truly, those who worship them will be ashamed. Therefore, why do they guess or say that they are deities, even when the Kashdim do not honor them, which when they hear that a dumb man does not speak, offer him to Baal, and ask of him to speak, as if those who have no senses might feel. And those, when they understand, forsake those idols, for their deities do not have understanding. Truly, women gird in ropes, sit along roads, and kindle bones of olives. Truly, when any of these women draws away a man passing by and sleeps with him, she despises her female neighbor, that she is not worthy like herself, nor is her rope broken. Truly, all things that are done to them is false. Therefore, why do they guess or say that they are deities? Truly, those idols are made by craftsmen and goldsmiths. They are nothing but what the priests want them to be, and those goldsmiths who make them do not have much time. Therefore, how are those things that are made by them deities? Truly, they left false things, and shame to the men who come after. For why, when battles and evils come upon them, do the priests think that they will hide themselves with them? Therefore, why consider those that are purchased, that do not deliver themselves from battle, nor deliver themselves from evils, to be deities? Why, when they are made of tree and stone and gold and silver? It will be made known afterward by all the people, by all peoples and kings, that those things are false, that which is made known, for they are not deities, but the works of the hands of man, and no work of Elohim is with them. Therefore it will be made known that they are not deities, but the works of the hands of men, and no work of Elohim is in them. They do not raise a king to a country, nor will they give rain to men. Also they will not deliver destruction, nor the country from wrong, for they do nothing, like little crows between the mist of heaven and earth. For when fire falls into the house of the deities of tree and gold and silver, truly their priests will flee and will be delivered, but those will be burnt like beams in the mist. Truly they will not stand against a king and battle. Therefore, why suppose or accept that they are deities? Deities of tree and stone and gold and silver will not deliver themselves from nightly thieves, nor from daily thieves, and wicked men are stronger than those deities. They will take away gold and silver and clothes of those who are covered, and they will go away, nor will they help themselves. Therefore it is better to be a king showing his virtue, or a beneficial vessel in the house, in which he who uses it is glorified, than false deities, or a door in the house which protects the things that are in it is better than false deities. Truly the sun and moon and stars, when they are bright and are sent out to benefit, obey. In like manner also lightning, when it appears, is clear. Truly it is the same thing. Also wind blows in every country, and clouds, of which, when it is commanded by Elohim to go throughout the entire world, performs what is commanded to them. Also fire that is sent from above to waste mountains and woods does what is commanded to it. But these idols are not like any of those things, not by forms, nor by virtues. Therefore do not suppose nor say that they are deities, when they do not deliver from destruction, nor from men. Therefore know that they are not deities, and do not revere them, for they will not curse nor bless kings. Also they do not show the signs of the heavens to foreign men, nor will they shine like the sun, nor will they give light like the moon. Beasts that flee under a roof and benefit themselves are better than them. Therefore in no way is it revealed to you that they are deities. Because of this, do not revere them. For this reason, like a man of rags or shoeless is in a place where gourds grow, keeps nothing, so too are there deities of tree and silver and gold. In the same manner, a white thorn in a garden of which each bird sits keeps nothing. In like manner, their deities of tree and gold and silver are like dead men cast forth in darkness. Also of purple and marble, which they hold above it. Therefore you will know that they are not deities. Also they will be consumed during the end, and it will be a shame in the country. It is better for a just man to have no images. Because of this, he will be far from shame. The end. Thank you for listening to my interpretation and narration of 1st BARUK. I hope that you find my Bible series, Khureb BeRuakh, Sword of the Spirit, enlightening. The word of Yahweh is a treasure trove of mysteries. It's amazing what you'll discover when you read it with your eyes open. My name is Wendy, and you've been called out of darkness